Hey guys, and welcome to the battle phase. In today's video, we're taking a look at the Tri-Brigade Gladiator Beast deck. In my opinion, the optimal way to play Gladiator Beast before the new Glad Beast support rolls around in Supreme Darkness. Then we're obviously going to be updating the deck, so don't forget to subscribe not to miss that update. But now we are stuck with what we have, and this is the Tri-Brigade version. So let us hop into the deck profile, starting off with the Tri-Brigades, which are, in my opinion, necessary for the deck to function well. That is the 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Fraktall. This is a 1-card starter. It is also a non-normal summon wasting starter, which means this is why it's really strong, right? It either links you up to your Glad Beast plays or can also be just a Tri-Brigade playmaker by his own. We obviously play 3 copies of it. We want to see this as much as possible. For the rest of the Tri-Brigades, we do play the 2 copies of Tri-Brigade Kit. Now, already the Fraktall combo with Glad Beasts is not ideal. And the Tri-Brigade Kit combo by himself, we want to use Tri-Brigade Kit as a starter, and then go into Glad Beast is just not going to work, even if we use Almirage and so on. So Kit is not a starter here. We're using it just as an important card for the combo that Fraktall needs, and as follow-up, because through Revolt triggering, we're able to add him to hand, normal summon him on the following turn. So as follow-up, Kit is really good. The same goes for the 2 copies of Nerval. We obviously need 1 Nerval for the combo. The second one can be summoned back, sent off by Revolt to trigger its effect to give us a little bit of that grind game. And then the last one is the Tri-Brigade Karas. And we also play the 2 copies of Karas. Mainly the first one is just as a part of the combo. But also opening Karas is not bad because it is a Tri-Brigade pitch special summon extender, which is really strong, and this deck can definitely use that if it gets interrupted, right? Also, it can form as a special summoning extension in the following turns or the first turn. So that is the Tri-Brigade lineup, and then the important cards we also play is the 1 copy of Tri-Brigade Revolt. This is one of the key points in our end board, because not only it will provide interruption, it is also very good because it gives us some setup for the following turn, so some grind game, so to speak, some follow-up. So that's why I think our Revolt is really good, and this is basically our Tri-Brigade portion of the deck. Moving on to the second important part, that is the Gladiator Beast portion. So we're playing 2 copies of Gladiator Beast Sammonite, and since you see this card, you basically know the effect is nothing interesting. You know that we are playing Rescue Cat. That's why we have to play Sammonite, because it's a level 3 beast that has Gladiator Beast in his name, which is really important. We're going to talk about Rescue Cat later. The only important thing to know is that a Rescue Cat has to summon from deck, and if we open 1 Sammonite, that combo would be dead. The Rescue Cat combo is too good, it's too good, so we can't afford that we can't resolve it, so that's why we have 2 Sammonites. It's also a Glad Beast name that you can normal summon if you are running into problems. The next one is Gladiator Beast Atorix. This one is important to the combo. It just sends a Glad from deck to hand to copy its name and level. Really strong. And then we also play the 2 copies of Augustus. We could play 1, you can play 1 if you wish, 1 is completely cuttable, but since he summons Gladiator Beasts from the hand, it also can help unbrick yourself. You can special summon him from the hand by the effect of 1 that's going to be summoned from the deck via the combo, so it's not that bad to play 2, and this is basically it. Speaking Gladiator Beast-wise, we're playing only 5 Glad Beasts in the main deck. It is no secret that Gladiator Beasts don't have a starter of their own as of yet. That means that they need other engines, or a lot of themselves to play. We decide to play other engines, in this case the Tri-Brigades, so on, so we try to minimize the number of Glad Beasts, so we can still incorporate Glad Beasts into the combo. I think this is the bar minimum, maybe 1 less Augustus, but this is the bare minimum, and we try to keep the number of Glad Beasts, because these are all bricks, obviously. We try to have a number of Gladiator Beasts at the minimum, so I think these 5 does the job pretty well. So these are the Glad Beast main deck monsters. We are also playing a Gladiator Beast Trap. That's Gladiator Beast Comeback. This is searchable, but it also just special summons a Glad Beast from the graveyard, so this is the last card we need because of the combo, right? The combo requires this card to have. That is the Glad Beast portion. Now we come to the main card of the deck, and that is the 3 copies, as you might be expecting, of Rescue Cat. Now, let's talk about Rescue Cat here for a second. Rescue Cat is the biggest hand trap bait magnet I think ever made in existence of man, but it is too good not to play. It is a 1-card starter that links your Tri-Brigade part of the deck with the Gladiator Beast part of the deck, right? It's just one normal summon. If we would not play Rescue Cat and we still wanted to play a Tri-Brigade Gladiator Beast deck, we would have to open, basically, let's say, a Fraktall. Okay, we would also have to open a Tri-Brigade type in our opening hand. We would also have to open a Gladiator Beast name that we can special summon. We're also going to have to open any card in our deck in order to shuffle back for Bearbrum. And we're already talking about 4 cards that you have to open if you're not playing Rescue Cat. Rescue Cat basically just means that you don't have to open a Glad Beast and Fraktall because 2 of these cards already fused in Rescue Cat. So I think this deck I don't think works very well if you don't play Rescue Cat. Also, we're taking all the necessary precautions we can in this deck to make sure Rescue Cat resolves. One of these precautions is that we're playing a lot of ways to Tri-Brigade Fraktall, because as we said, Tri-Brigade Fraktall does not need our normal summon. So we can normal summon Rescue Cat, that gets negated. Well, we still have Fraktall we can play through and set up some interruption, right? We also have other ways to play around, and I'll talk about it later. But Rescue Cat is just too good not to play. You will see that in the combo tutorial video that I'll also post, how much Rescue Cat does by itself. And I think without it, I think it's just not feasible in this day and age to play the deck in its current iteration. Moving on, we have, obviously, I just sang a lot of praise to Fraktall, so we have to play the 3 copies of Tanky. Tanky is just here to search Fraktall or to bait Handtraps, one of these 2. Worst case scenario, the Tanky can also search you the Gladiator Beast Atoric, so it also searches a Gladiator Beast name if you are in dire need of it to combo off, because that is also a Beast Warrior. But that is basically this. And now we can discuss statistics, so we can discuss our starters. Our starters, our 1-card starters, are the 3 copies of Tanky, there are 3 copies of Cat, and obviously there are 3 copies of Fraktall, which I still have 3 by. And that gives us a 10 out of 40 cards, counting also the pot that we play. 10 out of 40 cards are our 1-card starters, which means we have 78% chance to open one going first, which is, I think, pretty consistent. Not to mention that for the combo, we do also have to open a Tri-type and a card to shuffle back with Bearbrum, but these are, non-specific cards, so it's pretty easy to open them. Moving on, we need a few requirements. Now, as I said, Pot of Prosperity, I just spoke. We said 10 out of 40. Pot of Prosperity is counted as 1 because this just increases your consistency by a lot. Sadly, it's limited, but we have to play it. Moving on, we have another 1 card, and that is the Silhouette Trick. As you know, Appaloosa is banned, which is a big hit to any Tri-Brigades deck. And it's no different for this one, right? So we have to replace Appaloosa with some other generics, and in this case, we play Silhouette Rabbit as kind of a substitute for Appaloosa in our end board. For that, we have to play Silhouette Trick in our main deck as a brick. And then we also have the power spells and the obvious 3 copies of Crossout Designator. Rescue Cat is too important for this deck. That's why we also play 1 copy of Cold Buy. Rescue Cat is too important, so we are trying to find the other way we're finding it being hand-trapped is by using Crossout and Cold Buy in order to just straight up negate hand traps. So this is, in my opinion, very important. These are power spells and making sure that your limited playmakers actually resolve. I think it's mandatory for this deck to play this. And then we come to the final part, the hand trap part. We play 12 hand traps here. So that's a lot of non-engine spots. 12 non-engine spots. You can play whatever you want here. I chose hand traps because we're running Crossout, but you can play whatever you wish here. These are non-engine spots. So I decided to play 2 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Valor, 2 copies of Imperm, 2 copies of Ogre, 2 copies of Mourner, and then the 1 copy of Droll and 1 copy of Nib. This is kind of my setup. It's also a really good setup for Crossout because every card here kills our combo, so we are having a little bit of Crossout buffers here. We're also playing 2 of most of the good ones because one of all, we don't want 2 of the same ones in our hand, so that's why we only play 2. Plus, we also want to have another Crossout target in deck if we open one, right? Valor, Ash, Imperm, and so on. So this is my situation. Looking at this is 12 hand traps out of 40 cards, which means that we have 85% chance to open 1. This is really good. And we also have 48% chance to open 2, which can already seriously disrupt our opponent's plays. But like I said, this is my choice. This is non-engine. You can play here whatever you want. Board breakers, government second cards, whatever you want. That is it for the main deck, a very streamlined deck, and now we're moving to the extra deck. The extra deck is pretty tight, so moving on with the links, we need to play the Glad Beast links, so 1 copy of Tasked Panther and 1 copy of the Gracies. This is the bare minimum for Glad Beast playmaking. When I said that Glad Beasts don't have a starter, I meant none of the Glad Beasts actually get you to your links, right? We have to use Tri-Brigades to get us to Glad Beast links so they can playmake from there. So Test Panther is obviously a really important one, but it needs a Glad Beast name to make it. So that's why we have to play Glad Beasts in our main deck. And basically what this does is it searches a Glad Beast card, and then it also allows you to shuffle back a Glad from the field to summon one from the deck. The one we're going to shuffle from the field is the Gracies. The Gracies is just here because it's a name that's summonable off of Tri-Brigades. So we summon this off of Tri-Brigades and then shuffle it with Test Panther effect back. So this kind of is the main playmaking portion of the deck for our Glad Beasts. Then for the rest of the Glad Beasts, we have the end board pieces, and that is Tri-Brigade, Gladiator Beast, Tamer Editor. This is the main guy. He requires 2 level 5 or higher Glad Beasts to contact fuse into. That's why we're using the Augustus and the Atorix that's gonna copy the level. We summon this, and this then just special summons from the extra deck a Glad Beast fusion. We play 2 of them. We play the Heraklinos and we play the Domitianus. Now, here you only summon one of them, but I really like the versatility because they're very different. This is a discard spell or trap negate. This is an effect negate plus attack redirection. So these are very 2 different cards, and we're going to end on one of them. And I think it's really important that you can choose, right? You need spell trap negates, you're going to go for Heraklinos. You need effect negation, you're going to go for Domitianus. I think it's really good that depending on the deck you're playing against, that you can choose which one you're going to summon off of Tamer Editor. But these 5 cards basically are our complete Gladiator Beast part of the extra deck. Everything else is Tri-Brigade or follow-up. So for the Tri-Brigades, we play the 1 copy of Bearbrum, and then we play the 2 copies of Shureg. This is it. So no Fatigit, no anything else because we don't have the space for it. Plus, it's not that needed, right? Why do we play the Bearbrum? It's obvious. We need to get to Revolt, which is a very important part of the end board. Plus, we play the 2 copies of Shuregs. Now, one is obviously to summon off a Revolt for the banish, but the other one, because through Fraktall, we're going to, through Fraktall, play through Shureg to get our Rescue Cat with his search effect, so we're going to use one during the combo. So then we have to have the second one for the Revolt effect in the extra deck. That's why we play 2 Shuregs. This is the Tri-Brigade portion. Moving on, we also play the Zelantis. Zelantis is extremely crucial for that play, as I told you with Shureg. You're gonna make Shureg, then link with Shureg. Shureg's gonna search as the Rescue Cat for Zelantis. So this Zelantis is a very important card in the Fraktall going first combo, which I'll also show in the combo tutorial. Then we also play Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is really good because it has a tri-type, which means that we can make it. First of all, we make it, and we're obviously gonna have a lot of fusions, so we're gonna summon the Tamer Editor. That triggers, brings something back, and so on. Plus, it has a tri-type, so we can link with it after we've used its effect, due to the locking effect of Tri-Brigade monsters. So that's why it's also really good. Of a playmaker. And then the important end word pieces, Silhouette Rabbit and IP Masquerena. These 2 are our very important generic end board pieces that this deck obviously also uses. Silhouette Rabbit is, as we said, this is the reason why we are playing our Silhouette Trick. In the main deck, we're gonna summon this. We are going to set Silhouette Trick. Since this is an illusion type, we cannot link with it further because of the tri-locking effect. That means that when we activate Silhouette Trick, summon it, we're actually gonna have 2 illusion monsters on the field, which means we're gonna actually get 2 effect negates off of this, not just 1. So that's important to know. Plus then, if we end on IP Masquerena, well, we have the Trick and the Rabbit to link off with IP Masquerena. So that's why IP Masquerena in conjunction with this is also really good in such a deck. Obviously, the IP targets in this case are just going to be the 1 copy of SP Little Knight. I have IP Unicorn because my SP still isn't here, but obviously this is SP Little Knight for going into IP. At this point, you could play Underworld Goddess, but I don't think there is enough space. You definitely have enough stuff on the board to go into Underworld Goddess, but I think it doesn't come up as often to warrant a slot, and as you can see, the extra deck is very tight. So, the rest is our specialized 2 spots for follow-up, and I decided to play Helseberg, or whatever the hell this card's name is, and the Access Code Talker. So Access Code Talker here is completely very obvious, and there's also another very interesting with Access Code Talker, is that if you take a look at your extra deck, we have a Light Link, we have a Dark Link, we have an Earth Link, we have a Water Link, we have a Fire Link, and we have a Wind Link. So basically we have, through the combo, we're going to access all 6 attributes on Link monsters, which means that Access Code Talker is going to have 6 pops if he comes up as follow-up, which is absolutely amazing. Plus, we play this in order to streamline the way into access code on our second turn. So let's say you activated your Revolt on, you set up your board, then you set up your Revolt, then you activate Revolt on your opponent's turn, or you didn't activate your Revolt, but you just have a Tri-Brigade in hand. Whatever may be the case, you are going to start your turn with a kit in hand, okay? Either by Revolt, either just by having it, okay? You're gonna be able to normal summon the kit here, banish 2, or banish 3 in order to summon our Link monster here, our Link 3 Wing Beast, and then we have a Link 3 and a Link 1, and we can immediately link those away into access code. Boom. Just off of one follow-up, you have managed to get access code up, which has 6 pops and can go for game. So that is, in my opinion, the follow-up we're going for. That only requires you to have one Tri-Brigade in hand on your subsequent turns. So this is really good. This is the deck. In order to see how we combo with it, you can see the combo tutorial that's posted on the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you guys when we upgrade this deck to the new version. I can't wait. The end of January is here. New support is here. We will see if the deck gets any better with it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.